Percy Wetmore, more like girly monster. Oh my god, this villain from Green Mile sucks. Let me give you the reasons why I hate this villain. Percy is a sadistic prison guard who enjoys aggravating the prisoners, particularly Edward Delacroix. Although the other guards share a dislike of him, they have to be nice towards him because he is the governor's nephew. When a mouse makes its appearance shortly after John Coffey's arrival, Percy Wetmore meets the mouse and wants to stomp on it. The mouse still managed to escape its dangerous enemy. Later, a new prisoner, Wild Bill, proves particularly dangerous by slyly pouncing on Dean Stanton to strangle him. While Percy could overpower William Wharton, he does nothing, obviously paralyzed by his cowardice. One day, Wild Bill grabs Percy, taking advantage of his passing too close to the bars of his cell, and threatens him with rape. Percy is so afraid that he wets his pants under the stunned gaze of his colleagues. Paul intervenes to protect Percy. Percy then threatens to have them all fired thanks to his connections, if they spread the news, to which Paul assures him they won't tell anyone. Percy takes advantage of another date to stomp on the mouse named Mr. Jingles by Delacroix, but John revives the animal, demonstrating his supernatural powers a second time. When he is offered a job as a secretary at Briar Ridge Mental Hospital, Paul Edgecombe, the main character, thinks that they finally don't have to deal with Percy anymore. However, Percy refuses to leave unless he is allowed to supervise an execution, so Paul reluctantly allows him to run Dell's. Percy sabotages the execution by deliberately not soaking the sponge before putting it on Dell's head while Dell is in the electric chair. Dell suffers an agonizing death by literally frying in the chair. John Coffey feels the pain too. Percy is pushed to go to his new post as soon as possible, with a punch in the face by Brutal, Paul's fellow colleague, shortly after Delacroix's execution. When Paul and the other guards plan to take John Coffey, the other main character who heals people by sucking diseases out of them and regurgitating them, to the warden's cancerous wife, they put Percy in a straitjacket, tape his mouth shut and lock him in the block-padded cell, both to keep him out of the way and as punishment for sabotaging Dell's execution. After returning, John grabs Percy through his cell bars. Despite the guards trying to stop him in spite of their contempt for Percy, John regurgitates the disease he takes from Melinda Moores and the bladder infection from Paul into Percy. Being controlled by Coffey and or willingly out of disgust for Wild Bill's crimes, a crying Percy proceeds to shoot Wharton to death before going into a permanent catatonic state. He is then committed to Briar Ridge Mental Hospital not as an employee, as expected after Delacroix's execution, but as a patient, ultimately being punished for his wickedness. In the book, it is mentioned that he later died. In the movie, however, his later fate is never revealed. And that's why I hate this villain. I don't know who likes or hates this villain, so I'm just gonna leave it be. So screw Percy Wetmore, and screw Randall Graves from Clerks. The D'Alessandro family is 100 trillion times better than Percy Wetmore. End of